Hello, 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 everyone. Let's see who's going to join us. And are we live? Let's make sure. We are officially live. There we are. We're going to share with our groups real quick. So we have the VIPs and our Creative Hearts team. All right. Let's see who's out there. Please go ahead and say hello so I know you're here. And we're going to go ahead and get started. And yes, you are seeing more from the All About Autumn suite. I absolutely love this suite of product, and I am still playing with it and coming up with more ideas. So I decided to go ahead and feature it again this week because, again, no end to it, and it's starting to feel a little bit like fall out there. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get our housekeeping stuff done. We're going to switch cameras really quickly. Just a reminder that we do have bonus days. Hey, Miss Lori, glad you could join. If you had earned bonus days coupons back in July, now is the time to use these up. They are going to expire the 31st. So you only have a few days really left. We're barreling down on September very quickly. Hey, Deb, glad you could join us. So if you have those $5 coupon codes, no matter how many you have, you can use them all at one time. There is no minimum or maximum number that you can use. Hey, Miss Sue, glad you could join. So go ahead and get them used up before they expire on you. Just a reminder that we do have those new kits being released on a monthly basis, the most recent being the festive tags. September 1st-ish, they'll release another kit. But always good to go look in the online store to see what's out there. And the kits are fun because they are quick, they're easy, and everything you need is right there. So they are fun to travel with if you're going to do anything for maybe the end of the summer. And you need just something to take with you. The August tutorial bundle is available. That is free with a $50 purchase in my online store. So anybody who makes a purchase will receive the August tutorial bundle. That is 42 full color, fully illustrated tutorials in the bundle. My team does get that, and I have not sent that out yet, guys, but it is coming for those of you on my team. But hang tight. It is coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, ladies, very much. Anyway, if you do not want to earn it for free by either being on my team or making a purchase, you can purchase this straight up for, I think it's like $20 in my online store, and it is posted there, so it is available right now. September, I'm crossing my fingers to be able to get in on that. I was late getting my project done because I work all these stupid crazy hours. So September, I don't know. I haven't heard yet if I've been allowed to sneak in or not. So fingers crossed I will have a September tutorial bundle. Otherwise, September may have a gap, and then we'll get back on track in October. All right. Now on to the Autumn Leaves suite of product. Again, playing with this some more this week because, oh my gosh, this set is so awesome, and it opens up a whole new thing of techniques to work with. You saw the photo yesterday I posted before I went to work. I came up to my craft room and I played a little bit. So I did Joseph's coat. I am going to show you how I did that. And it's just a fun set. So I'm going to show you why you're going to want this one. All right. So here's the card I showed yesterday online, the Joseph coat. I'm going to show you how to do that tonight. I also did a really super simple where, once again, the designer paper is the star of the show. This is just a piece of leftover paper that I had cut from last week's cards. So I did not want that to go to waste. So I did that. And on this side, we have some embossing. So I thought that was really kind of cool. And then we have the designer paper, which is so beautiful. And then look at what we did here. We made our own little copper pearls with our metallics. Metallic enamel effects basics. So that was new in the annual catalog. That's like, we're going to do that. And then, of course, another super simple card here with our designer series paper. I'm going to show you how to do that fun cut. And you end up with 4 pieces, which ends up being 4 cards. And then, of course, our little leaf here is like the star of this show. Hey, Barb, glad you could make it. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with Joseph's coat. That's going to be our first card. So for this one, I have my ribbon here. I'm going to show you how to use that in a different way. I've got my early espresso. We're going to need that in a little bit. I have here the copper clay. I have old olive, crushed curry, and Cajun craze. So we're going to set those aside. I'm going to bring in some graph paper. So we're going to protect our surface a little bit. I have some blending brushes that we're going to use with our color. Oh, goodness gracious. We need all of our blending brushes. I have all sorts of colors going on here. I have a card base. This is early espresso, cut 8.5 by 5.5, and it is scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and fold on that score line and take our bone folder and press that out. So that we're going to just set aside for a few minutes. Then I have a piece of Very Vanilla that's 5 1/4 by 4. That's a layering piece that we're going to set aside. Then I have another piece of the Very Vanilla. This is 5 by 3 3/4, and this is where we're going to do all of the work. And then I have a little scrap. This is going to be for our sentiment. We're going to set that aside. And Tucker is knocking on the door. Apparently he wants to join us now. So just a moment. You going to come with Mama? Come on in. You going to get up here and lay down? Be a good boy. Come on. Right up here. You got to be a good boy. I apologize. Come on. Good boy. All right. You lay there and be a good boy. All right. He's going to lay here and be a good boy, he says. All right. First up, we're going to start with our crushed curry, our lightest color. We're going to start with our blending brush here. And I like to start on my paper here and then work my way to my cardstock. So we're just going to keep layering our color. And I just thought of something I did forget to bring over, and that is my embossing buddy. We're going to need that. So I'll have to grab that when we're ready for it. So there's our crushed curry. So we can go ahead and close that up. Next, we're going to do our old olive. So here's our brush, and here's the old olive. And again, I'm just going to get some of that color. Start off and work our way on. And we're going to go right up to the crushed curry. And that looks pretty good. Next will be Cajun Craze. And we're going to get this side here. Well, thank you for sharing, Barb. I appreciate that. And there's our Cajun Craze. Next, we're going to use copper clay. And my copper clay is extremely juicy. So if you have really juicy ink pads, this is one of the great ways to actually help improve their quality because you're picking up a lot of that excess ink and dispersing it better without wasting it. I mean, I know people will take paper towels and whatnot to soak up the ink, but that to me just seems so wasteful. Where this is a great way to actually use that ink and put it to good use. So we're just going to go ahead and add some of this copper clay in here. There, that looks pretty good. So now we have all of our color laid down. I'm just going to go ahead and grab my embossing buddy because we need to prep this just a little bit. And put that right there. Okay. So we want our embossing buddy, and we're going to prep and this will help so that your embossing powder, because we're going to use clear embossing powder on our imagery, and this will help make sure that it doesn't stick where it shouldn't. Like so. I'm going to go ahead and turn that over. Okay. Next, we need our Versamark ink pad. And we need, I'm using this large leaf stamp, and I'm using this little pair of ink stamps, leaves. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with our large leaf, and I'm going to go ahead and ink that up well with my Versamark. And you know, Versamark is that sticky watermark ink that dries slowly, so it makes it perfect for doing this project. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab my little stamp cushion here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp our leaf. And we're going to do it one more time. And I think it's really cool when it involves more than one color, when you're able to like pick up all the different colors in it. So you have a nice fall leaf. So there's that image. And now we're going to do these two little leaves. This one is going to go right here. And this one, make sure sure I can see where it's going. That one's going to go here. Okay. Cover that. We're going to bring in our little powder tray and our clear powder. Just going to sprinkle. And it looks like I'm going to need my brush, which I didn't bring over. Okay. I'm just going to grab my brush. I didn't bring it over, and it looks like we're going to need it because even though I powdered it, the ink was still a little damp, and it did grab a little bit of it in places it shouldn't have. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and grab that ink. Or not ink, but the powder, and wipe it away. Okay, I think. Okay, I think we're good. Set that aside. We're going to bring in our heat tool. Let it get hot. And then because this is clear, we're going to wait until it turns into a nice shine from a white powder. It still needs more heat. I do like to let it heat up before I start heating my powder, and that way you get a little less warping of your paper. There we go. Starting to melt now. Now, as cool as that is not even where the magic begins. The magic truly happens now. So we're going to get that out of the way. cool that for just a minute. Now, I know we don't sell brayers anymore, but many of you probably still have your brayer. And if you don't have one, you can always pick them up in the craft store. But they are a handy tool to have when you're doing this particular project. Yes, you can use your blending brushes just as easily. Well, I shouldn't say just as easily. I don't think it's as easy, but I think the brayer works great for this. So now I have my early espresso ink. Black also works. And you're just gonna ink up your brayer. And then you're going to go over your project like so. And I know you're probably going, oh my gosh, what are you doing? But trust me on it. It's awesome. It really is awesome. Get that little bit right there. I must have got a little powder right there that melted. And now I can't color that, but it's okay. It really is. Okay. There's that. And then to just, I'm going to keep that because we're going to use it again. Get this out of the way. I'm just going to grab a tissue. Just a common household tissue. And we're going to wipe away the excess ink. Like so.
Sorry, I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. It looks like an issue with the router and Echo device, so try restarting them.
And Echo has decided she's going to talk again.
Wait 30 seconds. Once the router is back on and connected to the internet, plug in the Echo device.
Okay. Next, we're going to just add some adhesive. And we're going to add that to our layering piece here. I'm just going to stuck my hand in ink somewhere. Then we can go ahead and add that to our card base. It is super cool. I love the Joseph's Coat technique. It is just a really fun technique that is, it's got a wow factor for sure. All right, next we're going to do, I'm going to bring in this little scrap of Very Vanilla. And where did I put my sentiment? Here it is. I got brown early espresso ink all over everything from the brayer, but that's okay. If you're not full of ink, did you really stamp? I mean, really. Just something to think about. Did you? Okay, set that aside. clean this little stamp up real quick. Okay, next we're going to bring in the dies, and I have this little label die that we're going to use. And I'm going to go ahead. Where did I? Baby Boss. And run it through. That's right, crafting. Hopefully I don't get it on anything where it would matter, like our sentiment here. But if we do, we'll make do. Okay. Next thing I did. So I'm just going to go crazy on the adhesive back here. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to make sure it's completely loaded up. And I'm just going to leave it there for just a minute. And then, let's see. I want them to be about that long. So I just chopped off just a little piece of that beautiful ribbon. And I'm just going to start tearing. And I'll show you what we come up with. I'm going to tear that out. All right. This worked really well the last time. Watch, because I want it to work well. Because I'm doing it in front of you. It's not going to be as easy. Come on. Before I got this little edge to rip right out, and then it all came undone quickly. Do I need to just give it a start? You have to get one of these stitched edges off here, and this one is not going to cooperate for whatever reason. All right, let's try a new piece. Because this worked really, really easy the last time. And all I did was basically shred it. I apologize, folks. that this is not going as quickly and as easily as it did yesterday. Okay, this one's going a little bit better, but not still as quickly and easily as it did yesterday. Yesterday, it just came right apart. Okay. There we go. Now it should. There we go. Once you get that one edge off, see how quick? There we go. Had a little bit of a mess, but it's okay. And then I just kept these like this. And then just attach to the back here. Trim this side down just a little bit. And then we need dimensionals. And then that goes right there. And there's our first card. When the ribbon cooperates, it cooperates. But when it doesn't, ugh. All right, and I tore my nail while doing that. So now I just got to trim that off or we're going to have bigger problems. There we go. Okay. Today has not been my best day. You ever have those days where you just can't seem to pull it together? Like I got up this morning and I felt so lazy. And like I said, I don't know if it's just all the days are catching up, these 6 days, 6 and 7 days, double shifts, and it's all just kind of caught up to me all at once, I guess. It's a good thing I took this week off. I couldn't take this past week off to go to the Stampin' Up! Leadership event that I wanted to go to because just didn't work out with staffing and whatnot. But thank goodness for awesome demonstrators out there. A demo friend of mine is picking up my packet for me, so she's going to ship it to me. So I still get all the goodies of backstage. They all went to Vegas this past week, which I thought was amazing of her to be willing to do. So I'm not going to miss out on at least the goodies. And I do get to do the, in September, I'll get to watch all the recordings and stuff. So I didn't miss out too much. But it would have been nice to kind of go and hang out with everybody. Stampin' Up! Took them last night for the final night to the Cirque du Soleil Beatles, which I thought was kind of cool. Some of them posted some. They looked just like the real Beatles and sounded just like them. So they did a fabulous job. All right, so for this card, I told you I'm using a scrap piece that I had cut from a card that I did last week for you guys. So I have these sitting with my designer series paper because remember, this is like awesome designer strip paper. So you're saving all your scraps. And this was a perfect way to use this particular one. So what I have here is I have a very vanilla card base that's 11 by 4.25. And I scored it at 5.5. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to fold on that score line. And there's that. Then I am going to take a piece of early espresso. This happens to measure 5.25 by 4. And we're going to emboss only a section of it. Now, my designer series paper was 2 inches by 5.25. So that's going to layer right on here. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I have plenty enough space and I demark where I'm going to have my paper versus what's going to be embossed. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. Where did I put it? Over here. And we're going to score 2.25. So I want it to face this way. So it's going to be upside down. And we're going to find the 2.25 right there. And we're going to go ahead and score it. Because I want the bead up top, I wanted to flip it upside down. So there's where our paper is going to go onto this side. So I have my bead now. So now I know exactly where my paper is going. Because like I said, this is 2 inches. I wanted the space here to be 2.25. So I have a little bit of, oh, that's not good. That's our next card. All this card making stuff for the next card has just hit the floor. I guess today really isn't my day. Like I said, it's just one of those days that it's just not, I feel like everything I touch is not right. And I should have just stayed in my pajamas. The dimensions of this card base is 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5. And then this early espresso piece is 5.25 by 4. And I scored 2.25. So I have a little bead. I don't know if you can see that. The little bead here facing upward. And now I've got my embossing folder. This is the, oh, I didn't bring the packaging over here to tell me the name because I'm still learning names. This is the one that goes with the entire suite. And I haven't labeled it yet, and I apologize. But we're just going to go ahead and we're going to line that bead up with the edge of this embossing folder. Now I'm going to bring in the Big Boss to do this. And we have the specialty plate because this is a 3D embossing folder. But I want you to notice, normally I'll tell you always emboss with the fold of your embossing folder going in straight on, because that's going to guarantee that you're not going to damage your folder, or you have much better chance of not damaging your folder. However, in this particular instance, it's not going to fit. You're not going to get it in there straight on. So in order for this to work, we're going to have to turn it sideways. So you want to make sure that you have everything lined up appropriately. So you want to make sure that nothing is going to catch on anything, because you can damage that folder by doing this. But we're going to put it in sideways in order to accomplish. We're using that specialty plate on top. And we're just going to go ahead and roll that through. my shoulder. Oh my goodness. That's my other issue. Is the stupid shoulder of mine. I don't sleep well. I wake up like 100 times a night because of it. All right, so now we have just that area embossed. All right, so now we're going to bring back our card base. And we're going to change our adhesive because we just run out, which I knew was probably going to happen, so I brought some over. Looks like I've lost some of yous. Thank you, Distressed Tile. Well, what the? There we go. Get that popped together. All right. Now we can go ahead, add this to our card front. All right. Then I have here a scrap of Very Vanilla. And we're using that same sentiment that we used just a little while ago. This is the Autumn Teaches Us That Change Can Be Beautiful. And we're using our Early Espresso ink pad again. Stamp that. Lost Tucker again. You heard Papa go out with the grill. I think he's hoping he gets something. Okay, so then we're just gonna bring back our baby boss once I figure out where I set it down. That's gonna pop on there. Run that through. Then same thing, add a little extra adhesive to the back here. And I'm just gonna, let's see. And snip. Dimensionals. And that's going to go right about there. And then check out these. These are the metallic enamel effects. This is the copper. It comes in a pack of 3. You get the copper, silver, and gold. And we're going to make our own little perfectly matched pearls with this. What the heck just popped up here? Oof. So I like to, before I take the cap off, I like to go ahead and bring it to the tip. And then holding it straight up and down, give it a little squeeze. And it does make a little peak initially, but then they flatten right out perfectly and you get the perfect shaped little pearls. So you're just going to set that aside to let it dry for a few minutes, and it does not take long at all. But how's that for a pretty card? And super simple. I mean, you're just doing half the card with embossing, the other half with your designer paper, and that designer paper is gorgeous. And there are so many other scenic pieces in this whole collection of paper. You could pick any one of them and it's going to look gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside so that that can dry, and hopefully I won't stick nothing on top of it. That one will go there. And our final card is on the deck. Oh my goodness. Here we go. What did I do? There it is. Okay. This one, again, super simple. And I am going to show you how I did this pretty. I'm going to set that one right there for now. So once again, I have a very vanilla card base. This is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at the 5 1/2. And we're going to go ahead and fold on that. And for this one, we're going to go ahead. I have the sentiment that says, with a grateful heart. Grab our early espresso. Ink that up, and we're going to stamp this right here in the lower right corner. So you're just going to go down here with a grateful heart. Now, I've already got my designer paper cut, because when you cut your paper for this particular style card, you're going to get 4 pieces. All right. 1 is used and I have 3 more. So I'm going to go ahead and pick one of these to use. I think I'm going to use this one. Or maybe, this one? Maybe that one. I don't know. This one. Yeah, I guess I'll use this one. But anyway, you end up with 4 pieces. And I'm going to show you how I cut this. It's super simple. Again, really simple. So I did bring this piece over to show you how I did it. Any all over pattern that isn't in a specific direction, like you wouldn't want to use one of the actual scenic pieces where you want to be in the correct direction on all cuts. That wouldn't work well. So you want something that's just got an all over pattern that is direction doesn't matter. So I want to show you how this works. And again, beyond simple. We just need our paper trimmer. And we're going to use our scoring tool initially. So what you're going to do is you're going to mark all 4 sides at 1 inch. So you want to put your paper at the 1 inch and just make a little tick mark. Turn. A tick. Turn. This is side 3, tick. final turn and a tick. All right. Now you're going to want to find the side that you see the tick marks on the easiest. And I think maybe this might be the one. So now you're going to find all your tick marks. So here's one tick mark. And where's the other one? Maybe it's not. Oh, there it is. I didn't make it very big. So we're going to line that tick and that tick into the groove here. And you don't have to be 100% precise. You just want to be close. I gotta get that out of there. And you're going to cut. Now, keeping everything together, you're going to turn. And there's the other tick mark. And now we got to find the other one over on this side. But again, try to keep everything lined up. So there's a tick. Yeah, this paper doesn't show it up as easily as I thought it might. Uh-oh. Ah, there it is. Again, try to keep everything together. There we go. So there's all our tick marks. Everything's still together and cut. So now you have all of these, and they're pretty consistent in size. They may not be 100% perfect, but these actually line up pretty good. So look, you now have 4 equal cuts. And now you have 4 cards that you can easily make, and you can actually flip these over. You can make them work any way you choose. So I'm just going to add these to my pile for when I'm creating, because we're going to use the gourds for this card. So anyway, that's how you cut it. Now I'm going to go ahead and add it to my card front. And again, you can line these up. Let me just flip this over so you can see. So you can do it this way. You can do it this way. You could put it, let's see. No, do it on, how did I do that? Oh, over here on the bottom. So this lines up there like so. You could do it up top like so. You could do it on the bottom like so. So again, it's a cool way to cut your paper, and then just play with it and see how you want to design. Anyway, so that's how that went. So now we're going to put our leaf. So I have a piece of pumpkin pie that I cut. Well, it's a scrap that I cut. And we're going to go ahead and run this through our Baby Boss, and we're going to get our leaf. So where did I put the Baby Boss? So we have our Baby Boss. We're going to run that through and get our leaf. So there's that. Then I have a piece of Cajun Craze scrap, and I went ahead and put some, oh my gosh, the adhesive sticky paper back here. I can't even think right now. But we're going to make it into a sticker. So I have some Cajun Craze, and then I have the veining die. So we're going to go ahead and cut the veins in the stem from Cajun Craze. Go ahead, because we have that additional sticky paper. Make sure it cuts all the way through. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and poke that out. Maybe. There we go. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and tear off the backing. We're going to carefully lay this down. Like so. Then we're going to add our dimensionals. We're going to just use 3 of them. And that is going to just lay like so. So there's With a Grateful Heart. And like I said, I have plenty of these now. I can do 2 more with the gourds. And because I cut that other one, the leaves, I can do 4 more with the different looks. Well, thank you, ladies. I'm so happy that you like them. So there's that. And the other thing I wanted to show you with that, you could also, if you really felt ingenious, I would cut a second one of, another solid of the pumpkin pie to lay this onto so that you keep the shape of your die, but you can actually cut the veining out and then literally do an inlay with this set and get kind of a different appearance where you just have that inlaid in like so. I don't know if you can see that. You would do an inlay. Kind of neat. Like I said, I love this set. I am finding more and more ideas to do with it. I think it's going to be hot. And that catalog does go live, I believe, September 4th for the general public. So if you're not a demonstrator where you can get it now, if you are a demonstrator, I highly recommend it. I mean, if you're on the fence on this set, don't be. Feel free to jump on this one because it's one that I think you're going to find you can use a lot. It opens itself up to a lot of techniques. It's just a lot of fun. Like I said, I've been playing with the set for 2 weeks now. I can't get enough of it. If you're not a demonstrator, it will be available September 4th, I believe, is the go live date. And I have a feeling this is going to be one of them ones that sells out quickly. So you're going to want it before that happens because the fall season is short. And then we're going to be moving into Christmas. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. I really, truly appreciate it. I hope you did enjoy these new ideas for this particular set. And I hope to see you next Sunday. In the meantime, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your evening and an even better week ahead. This week, I am going to take a lot of R&R myself. I'm going to clean up the craft room because it is a god-awful disaster. As you could see from yesterday's photos, and it's gotten worse as of today when I was playing with some more. So anyhow, and do my therapy for my shoulder, and hopefully we can get some progress made on that. All right, guys, have a great night, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.